traders, welcome back to a new YouTube video. It's Mavi from Trailblazers Trading View, and in this video I'll be explaining the weekly forecast ahead of next week across the major currency pairs, ranging from currency pairs such as Euro USD, GBP USD CAD, and Euro JPY. So of course, if you are new to the channel, ensure to subscribe, like the video, turn on your post notifications for more content, and leave a comment. So let's get straight into it. Now here on Euro USD, obviously as an intraday trader, I need to understand where I am in price and in structure, so I know what logically makes sense to do in that sense. Yeah, so I can see that price is reacting to a demand zone here. Price is reacting to a demand zone here on the weekly time frame. And now, why is this a valid demand zone? Because it had this imbalance field just right after the demand zone, and it has this structural break from here. So this is a valid demand zone in that sense. Now let's go to the daily time frame to see what makes sense on the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame, I can see that price has been very bearish, making series of like lower highs and lower lows and all that. Now look at this. Price has been making series of like lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, just to show how bearish market structure, how market structure has been bearish since I think for a minute now here. Then presently we're having this type of complex pullback here that might actually make a new low. We don't know that yet, but let's see. Now going to the 4-hour time frame, let's try to understand what market is doing on this time frame. So here on this time frame, I can see that price is making series of lower highs and lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then this kind of complex pullback from here that broke the structural point. This pullback broke the structural point here, switching the market structure to be kind of bullish in that sense. But we had this push to the downside again. So now, what makes sense for us to look for here on the 4-hour? Since the 4-hour market structure has been confirmed to be bearish from here, we can expect maybe a pullback. We can expect some sort of pullback to some sort of level here, then for price to make maybe a new lower low. But we can't actually predict what price wants to do in that sense. We can only react to whatever market structure and what price is telling us. So of course there will be zones that I'll be watching for this week. This one here, this one here. Now you might be like, oh, there are tons of demand or there are tons of supply zones. Aren't you going to like, what if you take a loss here, take a loss here? No, because I know what I'm looking for. I know my entry model and what I personally look out for won't make me take a loss here and there. Not that I'm not trying to say I'm like bigger in the market or I won't take a loss, but I know what to actually like look out for whenever price gets here, because I will then go to the 15 minutes, the 10 minutes, the 5 minutes to understand how price is actually forming on those time frames and how I can take advantage of those time frames. But for the sake of the YouTube channel, I'm just explaining trade forecast based on the higher time frames only. So we should be expecting some sort of pullback to some levels here, and these are all valid supply zones. Some levels here, maybe something like this. Yeah. So let's just see what price wants to do on this pair this week. Then to the next pair. To the next pair, USD CAD. USD CAD. Now let's go back to the weekly time frame to see what makes sense. Now here on the weekly time frame on USD CAD, I can see that structure has been very bearish for a minute. So we've been having this lower highs and lower lows type of thing. Oh, sorry, let me come again. we've been having this higher low made this higher high before the push. We've been having this. Then this low took out this high, switching market structure to be bullish. Then we had this type of break again, then a break above again, and all that. Now the weekly time frame is in a kind of complex pullback because I can't actually define what structure he is presently here, right? So let's go to a much lower time frame to understand what's happening, such as the daily. Now here on the daily time frame, what can I see the price is actually doing? Now I can see that this was the lower low, the lower high that made this lower low before the push up, right? Lower high made higher low made this higher high, then a break, pull back, pull back, break. So here on the daily time frame, we can here on the USD card on the daily time frame, we can expect a pullback to some demand zones there, then maybe a pullback, then maybe a drop to this supply zone, to this demand zone that's sitting just right here on the weekly time frame. There is this clean demand zone that's sitting just right there. You can see maybe a retracement back to the daily and a pullback to this demand zone. Yeah, pull back to this zone, and here there is liquidity sitting just right above the zone, so we have to be careful and be at alert. But still, I'm still holding my bias that price can maybe pull back to here, then maybe make a new lower low, then pull back again, then maybe touch here before coming fully bullish. But let's just see what price wants to do in that sense. Now the next pair, Euro JPY. Euro JPY. Let's go back to the weekly. Now Euro JPY, I can see that where is price reacting to? Price is reacting to this zone here on the weekly. Now this is a supply zone that has been formed since 20 from like February 2018. That's crazy. That's wild. Now why is it a valid supply zone? Broke structure had this tiny piece of imbalance just right after the zone itself. So you can see this imbalance here. It's a 25 pip imbalance. And now price is reacting to this weekly zone. So here on the daily, what makes sense? Daily time frame structure is bearish is bullish at the moment because we had this. There is this liquidity pool that was sitting just right here. These were the retail traders will be trying to like buy from on the fourth touch or something. Then they'll get invalidated, thinking that price is going to buy. Then they'll get invalidated, and then they blame the market and say it's market makers or it's stop loss ons or whatever. But in reality, price just took out that liquidity, reacted to some demand zones, then it broke structure now. So what I'm expecting here is the fact that we might have a pullback to some demand levels, then maybe a continuation. That's what I can see on Euro JPY at the moment. There is this demand zone that is here, clear demand zone, took out liquidity, having balances right above it, work structure. Yeah. So basically, we should be expecting this, maybe a pullback to some levels, even this, maybe then maybe a new higher high. Let's just see what price wants to do. We can't actually predict. We just react to what price wants to do. And going to the next pair, which is the last pair, GBP USD. Now I can see something. The fact that price is reacting to this demand zone on here. Now, why is it a valid demand zone? Again, it broke structure. I made a video explaining how to validate demand zones, and I incorporated it with the structure video. You can just check the channel and you'll find it here. It's a valid demand zone because it broke structure, had the same balance. Did it take out liquidity? Not really, not any specific liquidity. Then here on the, let's go to the daily time frame to see what's happening. The daily time frame on GBP USD has been pretty like very bearish for a minute. It's been very bearish. Lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high, then this complex pullback, lower low, lower high, then it's putting in a new lower low right now. So I can say that price will maybe react to some maybe to some refined zone here on the weekly, then we might have a pullback, then maybe a drop. Okay, that's what I can say. Let's go to the forward to see what's more clear though. Here on the forward time frame, you can see the supply zone sitting just right there. There is this liquidity pool staying right here too. So maybe a pullback that will take out this trend line liquidity that some retail traders will be trying to look for. Then when price reacts from here and drop, they'll tell you that it's a market on and stop something, all this type of stuff. So yeah, basically this is what I'm expecting: a pullback, then maybe a drop. This is my expectations, not what price should do. So yeah, that's pretty my trade forecast across the four major pairs. Ensure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so. Leave a like, leave a comment, and if you want me to add some more currency pairs to the weekly forecast, you can just leave your comment and tell me to add, and I'll try to do that next week. Yeah, so take care and trade safe. Bye.